Hello everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome back to the Popsicle Night channel. This video is sponsored by PTCGO the best place for you to get Pokemon TCG code cards. Are you looking to complete your card collection online for the latest set? PTCGO has everything you need. And please remember to use my code NIGHT22 at checkout so that you can get a 5% discount. Please enjoy the discount and your purchase directly supports the content I create in this channel. Thank you guys so much for your support and for your supporting PTCGO. In today's video, we're taking a look at Blissey from the Pokemon Go expansion set. Blissey is the stage 1 Pokemon with a whopping 200 HP. But unfortunately, it has a horrendous full retreat cost. It has no resistance and it is weak to fighting. It has 2 attacks and what Blissey specializes in is healing. And really the focus for this card is its first attack, Enriching Egg. For 1 colorless energy, you can heal all damage from one of your benched Pokemon. This is really great for fully healing your high HP Pokemon in tank builds. But the great thing about Blissey is it itself can also tank a hit or 2 because of its high HP. It also has a second attack, Zen Headbutt. For 3 colorless energy, it deals 100 damage. Naturally, I wanted to pair this with none other than Blissey V, one of the best tank in the game. For a basic Pokemon, it has 250 base HP, but with the help of the Cape of Toughness, this Pokemon can have as much as 300 HP. It has the ability Natural Cure. Whenever you attach an energy from your hand to this Pokemon, it can recover from all special conditions. And it only has 1 attack, Blissful Blast. Starting with just 1 colorless energy, it deals 10 plus damage. And for every energy attached to this Pokemon, you deal an extra 30 damage. And this attack is self-energizing because if you deal any damage to your opponent's Pokemon, you can accelerate 3 energy cards of any kind from the discard pile onto this Blissey V. So really, if you stack enough energies onto Blissey V, your damage output can become so powerful to the point of being able to one-hit knock out any Pokemon in the game. To set it up though, your priority is to discard your energies in the discard pile so that Blissey V can accelerate them to itself when it attacks. One way to discard our cards is by using Professor's Research. You discard your entire hand, then draw 7 cards. And also by using Quick Ball and Ultra Ball, you can discard cards when you use them while you search your deck for your other Pokemon. One problem with both Blissey and Blissey V though are their high retreat cost. I mean, you can hard retreat with 2 double turbo energies attached to your Blisseys, but I've added a few cards to help us pivot out of the active spot when we need to. First, I have Bird Keeper. It allows you to switch your active with one of your bench Pokemon, then draw 3 cards. I also have Escape Rope. This is great for switching your Pokemon and also for pushing out your opponent's active Pokemon. And you can also use Scoop Up Net to scoop Blissey out of the active spot. As a precaution, I added Miltank as my backup attacker. Unless your opponent has a counter to this, it can give them problems getting around it, especially with its ability Miracle Body, which prevents it from being damaged by an attack from any V Pokemon. And it also has the attack route. For 2 colorless energy, it deals 10 plus damage, and 20 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So this attack can deal anywhere from 10 to 110 damage. As for my other support Pokemon, I have Dunsparce with the Mysterious Net ability, which turns off weakness of all colorless type Pokemon in the field. This is great for removing our weakness, especially when we are going against any fighting type matchups. Manaphy with its Wave Bale ability, which prevents attack damage to our bench. And I added 1 copy of Pyukumuku with its ability Pitch a Pyukumuku. While it's in your hand, you basically put this to the bottom of your deck, and then you can draw 1 card. I think this is a better option than Radiant Greninja because again, we're using a full set of Path to the Peak Stadium. As for the other cards worth noting, we're not relying on Blissey to full heal all the time. Sometimes just a decent HP heal would suffice, which is why I still have 4 copies of Hyper Potion. If you can discard 2 energies from the Pokemon you want to use it on, this heals for 120 HP. But it won't be a problem as much because we have double turbo energy, and Blissey V can just reattach the discarded energies anyways. For Disruption, I have 1 copy of Tool Scrapper. This is great for removing Choice Belts to keep our opponent's attacks to a minimum. I also have 2 copies of Avery. You draw 3 cards, but you also force your opponent to discard their Pokemon in their bench until they only have 3 left. And of course, Path to the Peak Stadium. This turns off all abilities of all Pokemon with a rule box on them. That's why Blissey V's ability is rendered useless, and this is also why I don't use any Radiant Pokemon in this build. But this is great for shutting down your opponent's abilities, especially the abilities of VSTAR Pokemon, since they're really broken nowadays. So this disruption can really go a long way. It can slow down your opponent's setup, while also giving you time to build up your Blissey V's attack. At first, I had a copy of Canceling Cologne to turn off abilities of your opponent's Pokemon in the active spot during your turn, but I found myself not using it most of the time. Instead, I added 1 copy of Ordinary Rod. This is more useful since you can recover your Manaphy, Dunsparce, or even Miltank just in case your opponent targets them to remove a potential counter to their build. But you can probably substitute Ordinary Rod with Rosan's backup. That way you can recover a Pokemon, a Stadium, a Tool card, and an energy all at the same time. Finally, for energies, I have 4 copies of Double Turbo Energy. It counts as 2 colorless energy, but it lowers your attack by 20 damage. I also have 4 copies of Powerful Energy. When attached to a colorless type Pokemon, it increases your attack by 20 more damage. Next are 3 copies of Capture Energy. When you attach it from your hand to your Pokemon, you can search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it to your bench. This is great for setting up Manaphy or Dunsparce so that you have an instant defense against certain matchups. And lastly, 3 copies of Lucky Energy. When your Pokemon gets damaged by an attack during your opponent's turn, you draw a card for each of these attached to your active Pokemon before you start your turn. Just be careful with this one though, because your opponent can use it against you to deck you out. I gotta say, this build seems intimidating to use, especially when you think of the slow momentum at the beginning, but once you start attacking, everything just kind of falls into place. Most of the time you'll only lose when you start with a really bad hand, like when you have no energies or no support cards to draw into more cards. And also, just as long as your opponent is not able to one-hit KO Blissey V, you'll most definitely put up a good fight. But this build got me a 10 winning streak, so that's gotta mean something. And that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Blissey with Blissey V. Alright, on to our first match. My opponent's gonna go first. And we're gonna start this one with a Blissey V to go in the active spot. And it's always ideal to start with Blissey V in the active anyways. We also have Cape of Toughness and an energy, which is a good combination. And my opponent's going to start with a Miltank in the active spot. It's going to be hard for us to damage it. And I actually had Canceling Cologne in the build before, but since I have Blissey, we're just going to use that to knock out this Miltank when we need to. And they also have Arceus V, attach an energy, and they're just going to pass. Alright, cool. So let's attach our energy, also our Cape of Toughness. And then I think I'm going to use Ultra Ball. That way I can use Bird Keeper. And I think I'll just discard these two. And I think I'll grab my own Miltank. Then we can use Bird Keeper. So even if they switch into Arceus V and they attack, they're not going to damage our Miltank. And thankfully we drew into Avery. We need to draw into more cards for sure. We have Quick Ball and also Powerful Energy. And my opponent is also using Avery, alright. Professor's Research. And they're just going to pass. Alright, so we are safe for now. And I think I'll attach the Powerful Energy to Miltank. Use Avery, draw into 3 cards. Alright, cool. We got Professor's Research for our next turn. And I think I'll set up Chansey. And I'm just gonna pass. That way we can evolve into Blissey in our next turn. And then use Professor's Research to draw into more cards. So with 1 energy to Miltank, at least we can start attacking, even chip away at this Miltank. But my opponent's gonna use Escape Rope. If I switch into Chansey, they can knock it out if they evolve into a VSTAR. So I think I'll just switch into Blissey V. It has a lot of HP anyways, and we can always just heal it back. Okay, they're getting their Avery back from the discard pile. Professor's Research. Okay, so this is a good matchup for us because Arceus V-Star can't knock out Blissey V with a single hit. So we should be able to stall a bit with this one. And actually, the regular Blissey can tank a hit from this Arceus V-Star. It's only hitting for 180 damage. So they're also using Duraludon VMAX. Alright, so this is a little scary because it doesn't... Miltank doesn't block damage. And it also has an ability that blocks our attacks because we're using special energies. So we got another Chansey, but we already discarded the other one. So there's no use setting up another one. I'll just put Powerful Energy on this Blissey V for now. And I think I'll just use Hyper Potion to heal. That way our active will survive another attack from this Arceus V-Star. And I'll just discard these so I can get Pyukumuku. Draw into an extra card. Come on, give me something. Dude. Nice. We got Professor's Research. So that's gonna help us to set up even further. Yeah, we needed that. That's why Pyukumuku is such a great addition to this build. My opponent will deal 180 damage, and that'll end their turn. They're gonna get 2 prizes if they knock out our active. Gotta get it out of there. For now, I think I'll just use Capture Energy, set up another Blissey V just in case, then use Professor's Research. Well, unfortunately, we didn't get any switching cards, but at least we got Path to the Peak. And I'm just gonna pass. Unfortunately, we will lose 2 prizes this time. And what I'm gonna do is just continue to set up my other Blissey V and hopefully deal some big damage against this Arceus VSTAR. Alright, we got Pyukumuku. Let me attach this powerful energy, use Pyukumuku. We drew into Bird Keeper, alright. But we don't really need to use it right now. I have Quick Ball. I could add another energy. We got Lucky Energy. 3 double turbo. We just get rid of this. Maybe we can attach it. I'll get another Pyukumuku. We can use that for our next turn. And then I'll just use Blissful Blast, dealing 140 damage. You know what? I'll just get all double turbo energy. Because I was thinking of using the Lucky Energy. That way, when they damage us, we can draw 2 cards. But if we can build up our damage, that would be best, I think. They're going to deal 180 damage. We can use Bird Keeper, switch into Blissey on our turn. But my opponent's charging up another Duraludon VMAX. Let's use Pyukumuku first. Okay, that's actually good. Escape Rope could be good. But I'll use Bird Keeper for now. We have 1 energy on hand, and that's why it's always good to have 1 energy reserved for your Blissey. Make sure you have an energy reserved so that you can use this to fully heal our Blissey V. So that's good. Their Arceus VSTAR will not be able to knock out our Blissey, and none of their Duraludon VMAX can hit for a lot of damage to 1-hit KO our Blissey V. So they're gonna boss order my Blissey V, but even without Cape of Toughness, they're not dealing a 1-hit KO on it, so we can just continue to heal it. We have Escape Rope, so we're gonna use that. Switch back into Blissey, and I might have to use either Marnie or Professor's Research. I think I'll just use Marnie. That way we can preserve all our other cards just in case. And then, for the meantime, I'm just going to continue to build up energy to our Blissey. And then use Pyukumuku. Get another energy. And I think I'm just going to use Enriching Egg to fully heal our Blissey V. I'm surprised we haven't gotten another Cape of Toughness, man. We have 13 cards left in our deck. And still no Cape of Toughness. This is crazy. But regardless, I mean, if they have Choice Belt, they can knock out our Blissey V. That's why we need Cape of Toughness. Alright, cool. At least their Marnie got us 1. And they're going to knock out our Blissey. But you know what? We have enough energy built up to our Blissey V that we can 1-hit knockout their Duraludon VMAX. We're hitting for 350 damage. That's insane. So now, as long as we have a boss, we're just gonna win this game. Okay, they're gonna put their Arceus V. The only thing is, okay, they're gonna attack. We drew into a lot of cards, which is good. We're gonna reserve our Path to the Peak just in case they bump out our stadium, because we need that to beat Duraludon. I think I'll need to heal here, and we should still be fine because we're healing 120. So that's gonna get us up to 240 HP. As long as they don't have a Choice Belt, we should be okay. Arceus or Duraludon VMAX will not be able to knock out our active. But yeah, if they have a choice belt, that's the thing. I think I'll build up my Miltank just in case. If we have a boss, we'll have won this game already. You know, I'll use Marnie. I think I'll use Marnie. That's gonna disrupt their hand at least. And ooh, we got another Hyper Potion. That's actually, I think we'll need that, because if they have a choice belt, that's gonna all this energy we built up is gonna be all for nothing. So I think we need to do that. So at least we're in full health. Got Ordinary Rod, might as well just use this. Get Chansey and Blissey again. We can continue that process, and I'm just gonna use Blissful Blast to knock out their Arceus VSTAR. And yeah, there's nothing surviving. Nothing's gonna survive our Blissey V's attack moving forward. So even if they use Miltank to block our attack, we can use Boss's Order to get their Arceus V or this Duraludon VMAX in the active spot, and then knock it out. But they're gonna bump out our Stadium, rely on their ability to block our attack. But you know what? We have Path to the Peak on hand, so we can just remove it, and we're just gonna Blissful Blast. For the win, guys. Good game. Alright, on to our next match. This time I'm going first, and we're gonna start this one with a Blissey V in the active spot. We also have Chansey to go on the bench. We have Cape of Toughness, but no energies. So we're going up against an Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. Alright, this is going to be a tough matchup. They can set up really quickly, attack for a lot of damage, but I don't think they're one-hit knocking out our Blissey V as long as we have Cape of Toughness. Ooh, we got an energy. So let's attach that, put Cape of Toughness, and I don't know if Pass to the Peak is going to make any big difference to their setup, so I think I'm just going to pass. Because I seldom see any Ice Riders use Crobat or anything like that. So anyways, if we put Path to the Peak and then they had a Stadium, they could just pump it out. We will have just wasted a Stadium. So we should be okay. But yeah, Sobble is easy to knock out. If you have powerful energy and if you're going second, you can knock it out with one powerful energy on Blissey V, hit for 60 damage. So they're gonna stall, boss my Chansey in the active spot, but we have Escape Rope, so we can switch back our Blissey V. But if they put their Ice Rider in the active, I mean, we can chip away at it, but we can also get a knockout here. So they put a Sobble in the active, so that's good for us. I'll get a Miltank, that could help us block their Ice Rider. Use Path to the Peak, and then we're just gonna use Avery. And I think I'm just gonna attack. Get a prize here. Alright, cool. We got Capture Energy. Yeah, I didn't want to use Ultra Ball just yet, because Tool Scrapper is useful, especially if they use Choice Belt to increase their damage. It's gonna help us to keep their damage low, and Hyper Potion might help us along the way, so we're just gonna maintain that. Miltank, I'm a little bit worried because they are energizing their Inteleon line. They could attack with it, knock out our Miltank easy, but they're just gonna attack for 70 damage. Alright, they're attacking for 70 damage. Let me just use Bird Keeper for now to block their attack with Miltank. Evolve into Blissey. That's good. We got Powerful Energy. Use Hyper Potion to heal 70 damage. And then gonna use Ultra Ball, get rid of these two energies. And what I'm doing is just continue to build up energies in the discard pile, so when we attack, we can accelerate more energies. So I'll just set up another Blissey V on the bench, and then I'm just gonna pass. So unless they have a boss's order here, I mean, they're not getting a knockout anyways. So we're fine for now, but right now our hand is really horrible. We can't draw into extra cards. I can use Quick Ball, get Pyukumuku. And Pyukumuku is really great, man. It only draws you one card, but sometimes it's the card that you need. It's insane. And again, Radiant Greninja makes sense. You know, you discard an energy, accelerate that with Blissey V. But with Path to the Peak, it turns off its ability, so it's really useless in this build. Dude, we got Professor's Research from our top deck. That's insane. Let's Tool Scrapper away their Choice Belt. Use Professor's Research. Alright, cool. We're gonna need Manaphy because they can hit our bench with their Inteleon. Cape of Toughness, our other Blissey. And then we're just gonna Escape Rope. So we can start attacking with our Blissey V here. And they're presenting their Sabal once again, so I'm alright with that, man. We're gonna get an easy prize with that knockout. And then we're gonna build up our Blissey V with more energies. So again, even with Choice Belt, they're not knocking out our Blissey V in the active spot. Unless they can remove my Cape of Toughness. But as of right now, we are okay. The only thing is, if they damage for 240, well, 270 with a Choice Belt, we'll need to switch into Blissey. 280 damage. Okay, never mind. It's not 270, it's 280. Wow, okay. That's right, because it has a 10 base damage. Let's use Pyukumuku for now. Okay, we got Blissey. I mean, I could set up another Blissey. But as of right now, we can't switch into Blissey. Let me just put one energy to Blissey, just in case. We just need to switch it into the active. I mean, I could use Hyper Potion, but that's going to remove 2 energies to Blissey V. And we can't retreat it if we don't get any switching cards. So I'll just use Professor's Research. Bro, sure enough, we didn't get anything. I mean, we got Bird Keeper, but we can't. We already used our supporter for the turn. I'll attach this Cape of Toughness, and I'll just hard retreat into Blissey, I think. And then I'm just going to use Enriching Egg to fully heal our Blissey V. I don't know if that was a good idea, because we're going to have to build up our Blissey V anyways from scratch. But at least that's going to prevent our opponent from taking 2 prizes. And then we can chip away at their Ice Rider Calyrex for our initial setup. So let's see how this goes. And my opponent is able to accelerate an energy with Melanie. And they are going to get a knockout off of our Blissey. But that only gets them 1 prize at least. So I'll just promote my Blissey in the active spot. Oh, we got an energy from our top deck, so that's good. And then I'm just going to attack here. 40 damage. Then I'm just going to accelerate a bunch of powerful energies and 1 lucky energy. So if they attack it, we get to draw 2 extra cards. And that's increasing our attack by 40 more damage. They're going to attach an energy and boss. Okay. And they're just going to pass. Wow. We have Bird Keeper though, so we can switch back. And I'm just going to attack. 220 damage. That's insane. Okay, cool. So we're good so far. I mean, they can attack with their Ice Rider. Get a big chunk of damage to our Blissey V. And we have no means to heal back our Blissey. I mean, we can use Miltank to attack, but we won't be dealing enough damage because they don't have enough Pokemon on their bench. And they're just gonna pass. Dude, that is insane. Just gonna use Avery. Energize my Miltank before I run out of energy. At least it's there as an attacking option, just in case. And I'm just gonna attack. 310 damage, knocking out their Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. Cool. That gets us 3 prizes. Even got double turbo energy. So that's gonna secure our knockout against this Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. They can't knock us out with their Inteleon. And Oh, Lucha. Okay, that's not going to help them because we have V. It's not a VMAX. And they're attacking for 250 damage. And that's going to be game, guys. That is going to be game. Powerful Energy for a knockout. 360 damage. Not bad. Not bad. That last match was actually pretty close. If my opponent hadn't whiffed that one energy, they could have damaged my Blissey V for a lot of damage. We couldn't heal from it. And then it would have been hard for us to set up another Blissey V. But thankfully, we were able to win that matchup. No problem. And this time, my opponent's using a Greninja V Union. Alright. We're going to start with a Chansey in the active spot, which is less than ideal because it has 3 retreat cost. And my opponent's also using Pikachu V Union. Alright, so this is a V Union package. Let's see what else they got in there. They also have Arceus V to start. So let's start setting up our Blissey V. And I think I'm just going to pass. We have Scoop Up Net. We can just scoop up our active. And then we can evolve our other Chansey if we need to. But yeah, this is an interesting deck that they have. They also have Meowth to discard their V-Union pieces. And what I'm going to do is just use Escape Rope, Energize, and we can get an easy knockout against this Meowth. And I'm just going to use Professor's Research. Let's use our Quick Ball, discard this Powerful Energy, get Miltank. That's going to help us block their attacks. Then we're going to put Cape of Toughness, use Pyukumuku, Path to the Peak. Let's bump out their Stadium. Gonna be a lot harder for them to set up. And then we're just gonna knock out this Meowth and energize 2. 1 powerful energy and 1 double turbo energy. So that's great. We're off to a good start. And having Path to the Peak is actually really cool because now that's gonna block their Arceus V-Star's ability. They can't just get any 2 cards from the deck. And they're just going to attack for 180 damage. Alright. And they're going to energize their other Arceus. Alright. We got Hyper Potion. Let's use Avery first though. Got Capture Energy. Let's use Powerful Energy. And I'm just going to heal because we can discard this Double Turbo Energy. And we can tank another hit. And I'm just going to attack for 190 damage. Then we're just going to get that double turbo energy back to our Blissey. So at this point, we should be able to knock out an Arceus V-Star. Especially we can attach a capture energy on our next turn. 190 plus 40. 230. Well, not quite. We need 2 more energies to knock out an Arceus V-Star. But again, because of Path to the Peak, it's blocking their V-Star power ability, so that's really good. They're just going to attack. That doesn't knock out our Blissey. We can evolve into Blissey, use Capture Energy, and then use, I don't need anything right now. I'll just use Marnie. So we're just attaching energy to increase our attack. Let's attach this Cape of Toughness because they're gonna knock out our Blissey. I'll use Escape Rope for now. Change it up to our Miltank. They can't damage it, so they're just gonna have to contend with that for now. Ooh, they bump out our Stadium. So now they can use their ability, but at least it requires them another turn before they can energize any of their V-Union cards. So they're going to use their ability finally. So that's going to get them any 2 cards from their deck. So they can set up their V-Union. If it's Greninja, we have Manaphy to protect our bench. And right now they're building up their Pikachu, V-Union, and also Greninja. But I know they have Psychic Energy too, so okay, yeah. Sure enough, they also have Mewtwo V-Union. That's insane. I wonder if they can set up all 3. That would be cool. But so far, they have Greninja V-Union set up on their bench. They're using their ability to look at our cards on our hand, and they're not gonna damage our Miltank, but that's gonna help them energize their Greninja V Union. I'm just gonna bump out their stadium with Path to the Peak, attach an energy to Blissey so we can heal. We just need to switch out our Miltank. Scoop Up Net is gonna work actually. So I scoop up Miltank, put it back into play. I'm just gonna use Pyukumuku to draw into an extra card. Another Bird Keeper, that's cool. Put Cape of Toughness on Miltank, and we're just gonna use Enriching Egg to fully heal our Blissey V. Nice. And that's the beauty about this build, guys, is that you can keep those energies on Blissey V and then fully heal it. Fully heal with our Blissey. That's crazy. As long as your opponent can't one-hit knock out your Blissey V, you're fine. I think they should have just focused on Mewtwo V Union, because I think Mewtwo V Union has an attack that can hit for 300 damage. I think that would have been a better approach to this matchup. And they're just gonna pass. Dude, they don't even attack. Alright. Just gonna use Bird Keeper. Alright, we got Powerful Energy. Just gonna attach that to Blissey V. Use Ultra Ball to get rid of 2 more energies. And get Blissey. Got 3 more energies. You know, I'll get Pyukumuku. Let's draw into an extra card, see what happens. Quick Ball. Alright. Got 2 energies in our discard pile. I think I'll just attack here. 280 damage. That's insane. Alright, cool. So we're hitting for 280 damage. With 2 extra energies, we can actually knock out their V Unions at this point. Nothing's stopping us at this point, guys. Nothing's stopping us. That's insane. So despite their efforts to set up their V Unions, and there's the scoop. I will take that win, guys. Good game. Alright, let's start our next match with Blissey V in the active spot and Chansey on the bench. We have Cape of Toughness, and we're going to attach double turbo energy on Blissey V, and we're just going to pass. And my opponent's going to start with a Galarian Moltres in their active spot. Late game, if I only have 1 prize left, this Moltres can hit for 270 damage. They are going to Marnie. But because they attach an air balloon, that actually prevents them from dealing 300 damage, which can one-hit knock out our Blissey V. So that puts us in a good position to survive an attack from this Galarian Moltres, just in case. So my opponent's going to use a Quick Ball. Let's see who their real attacker is. Radiant Greninja. Okay. Alright. That's probably not their main attacker. But yeah, I don't use Radiant Greninja in this build, unlike some other Blissey Vs I've seen showcased, because with Path to the Peak, it turns off Radiant Greninja's ability, rendering it useless in this build. That's why Pyukumuku is, I think, the best option for this build. Okay, let's wait and see. Alright. It is a Darkrai VSTAR build. You know, Path to the Peak is really going to be useful in this matchup because it turns off Radiant Greninja's ability. They also have Galarian Moltres V. That turns off Galarian Moltres' ability. And that will also turn off Darkrai VSTAR's VSTAR ability. Let's switch back into Blissey V with Bird Keeper. That draws us into 3 cards. Set up another Blissey V on the bench. And I'll set up another Chansey. Don't really have much to work with here, so I'm just gonna attack for 50 damage against this baby Moltres. I mean, they can easily just retreat it because they have Air Balloon, and they're gonna use Marnie. That's actually bad because... Okay, I was gonna say, it's actually bad because we could use Professor's Research, but we got 2 instead, so I'm actually okay with that. So on our next turn, if they don't retreat this Galarian Moltres, we can knock it out. We have Powerful Energy. We're dealing enough damage to knock out their Moltres. But hopefully we draw into Path to the Peak with this Professor's Research. That's going to go a long way, because if they set up another Galarian Moltres V, they're just going to stack up all those energies, and then Darkrai VSTAR is going to be unstoppable. And it can deal a one-hit knockout against our Blissey V, so we have to watch out for that. But another strategy against this matchup is to knock out their Pokemon with a lot of energies attached to them. So Galarian Moltres V deals damage to itself, so it could become easier for us to knock it out with Blissey V. But we need to build up our energy on Blissey V, and that's the only downside to Blissey V deck, is that if you lose that momentum of attaching energy to Blissey V, you're not stacking energies, and your attack damage output is really bad. And that's really what you need to do. 190 damage to our Blissey V. Okay, we draw into Quick Ball. Let's attach this powerful energy, and then use Quick Ball, get rid of Capture Energy, and then I'll just get Pyukumuku. See what we get. Okay, that was actually pretty useless. So I'll just use Professor's Research. We got Path to the Peak finally. Can set up our other Blissey V. And then we're not surviving an attack on our next turn. I'm not sure if I should use... You know what? I'll just heal. I'll fully heal my Blissey. Can discard our double turbo energy. And then I'm just going to chip away at this Moltres V and reattach our energy. So at least it should be within knockout range. Even if they attack with Moltres V, we're going to survive an attack. And then we can knock out their Moltres V. And that's going to remove 3 energies at least. And that will lower Darkrai VSTAR's attack. You're going to Marnie one more time. And even if they retreat this Moltres V, we have Boss's Order. So we can knock it out. And we also have Avery. So in case they attach other energies to their bench, we can use Avery. And then have them discard those Pokemon. Although, they could just discard the ones that they don't need. Those dark patches are really bad though. So we survive another attack from their Moltres V. That's really good. I mean, I could use Hyper Potion again, but we're not surviving any attack after that. I mean, we could. We could survive an attack. So I think I'll just use it. Hyper Potion, 120. And then maybe we can attach an energy. So I'll use Avery. Have them discard 2 of their Pokemon on their bench. And then that actually got us a Blissey. So we can evolve into Blissey. It's going to be on standby in case we need to fully heal our Blissey Vs. And we're just going to attack for 90 damage. And then we can reattach our double turbo energy. So now my opponent has 2 choices. They can retreat. I mean, if they have a switch, they can retain those energies. They can evolve into Darkrai VSTAR, but with Path to the Peak, we're turning off their abilities, and that renders their Galarian Moltres V that they just put into play useless. So Path to the Peak, man, guys. If you can put 4 Path to the Peak in your deck, go for it. It shuts down a lot of decks. Really, like high-tier builds that you face off against in the ladder. It turns off a lot of those builds. They are going to get a knockout though, despite their low count of energies in play. And they don't evolve into a V-Star. So we're going to have to restart and set up another Blissey V. But we're going to secure a knockout against this Moltres V. And that's going to get us 2 prizes while energizing our new Blissey V. And we get Hyper Potion and another Blissey from our prizes. Alright, cool. So we're looking good so far. As long as we can prevent them from stacking their energies, and really, all thanks to Path to the Peak, removing all of their abilities, it really goes a long way. Okay, they're going to use Escape Rope. We're going to switch into Blissey. It has 200 HP, and with not enough energies in play, I don't think they're... Darkrai, even if they evolve into V-Star, I don't think they can knock out our Blissey. And we can evolve into another one anyways. Dark Void for 130 damage, but that puts our Blissey to sleep. I didn't know that had a sleep special condition. We're just going to Tool Scrapper their Choice Belt. That will lower their attack damage output. Evolve into Blissey, and I'm just going to use Professor's Research. Alright, cool. That drew us into more energy cards. So I'll continue to build up my Blissey V. And then I can discard one more energy. I think I'll get Pyukumuku. Draw into an extra card. Maybe we can get something to switch out our active. We got an Ultra Ball though. I could use Hyper Potion, and I think I'm just gonna pass. Yeah, I think I'll just pass. I'll preserve one energy in case I need to use my Blissey to fully heal. So always keep that in mind. You always need an energy reserved for Blissey to use its Enriching Egg attack. They're gonna knock out my Blissey for another 130 damage. So we'll pivot into our Blissey V. We'll attach this double turbo energy, and we're just gonna attack. And that knocks out their Darkrai V. Alright, cool. So now the threat is gone. That gets us 2 prizes, because Darkrai V, or even VSTAR, is really the highest attacker. It's the attacker that can deal a lot of damage, that can one-hit knock out our Blissey V. But we have 2 prizes left, so this Galarian Moltres is not dealing enough damage to knock out our Blissey, even if they have a Choice Belt available. But we need to find that path to the peak, because that Galarian Moltres V on the bench could easily charge up and start attacking. Quick Ball. Okay, they can still set up their Darkrai VSTAR if they need to, actually. But they're just gonna attack with their Galarian Moltres with Fiery Wrath. And we got more energies. I think I can put Powerful Energy and exchange that with Double Turbo Energy. So I can use Hyper Potion, healing it for 120 damage. And we can get an easy knockout against this baby Moltres. I'll just use Ultra Ball, get another Pyukumuku, so we can draw into an extra card. Pass to the peak. There it is, guys. We're gonna keep our opponent at bay, and we're just gonna knock out this Galarian Moltres. And we're hitting for 290 damage at this point. So anything they put in the active, we can just easily knock it out. And that should be game. By knocking out Galarian Moltres, that removes 3 more energies. So again, even if they build up their VSTAR, Darkrai VSTAR, with no energies in play, there's nothing they could do to knock out our Blissey V. And I think that's going to be game. You know, just for trolls. I'm just going to fully heal my Blissey V. And then I can use my Escape Rope. Alright, well, that's game. There it is, guys. For game, we're just going to use Escape Rope, push back their Moltres V, and then we can get a knockout off of this Darkrai VSTAR for the win, getting us our last prize. 360 damage. Good game. Alright, let's get into another match. We have Chansey in the active spot. This is a Origin form Palkia VSTAR matchup. Okay, so top tier build for sure, but we're surviving attacks from Palkia as long as we can maintain a low Pokemon count on our bench. We could actually prevent them from attacking for a lot of damage. So I'll use Quick Ball. That way I can set up a Blissey V, attach an energy, and then I'll use Escape Rope, and then I can use Avery to draw into more cards. discard one card with Quick Ball, and then I think I'll get Miltank. That can also help us to stall if we need to. Use Pyukumuku to draw into an extra card. We got a Scoop Up Net, and I'm just gonna attack for 60 damage. And then we can accelerate 2 extra energies to our Blissey V. So as of right now, if they don't evolve into Palkia V, VSTAR, so 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 140 damage. If we can get another energy in our next turn, we can actually knock out this Palkia V in the active spot if they don't evolve it. You're gonna grab Greninja, but it's gonna be useless with Pass of the Peak in play. Unless they have another Stadium to remove it. Evolution Incense, they can evolve their Palkia to VSTAR. Okay, there it is. But having Miltank in this build is actually really useful. Unless they have Inteleon line to counter it, it's going to be hard for them to knock out our Miltank. They're going to evolve, and they're just going to pass. Okay. There's not much for us to do either. We're just going to evolve into Blissey, put Chansey into play, and then we're just going to damage for 140, and we can knock it out in the next turn. Actually, putting Chansey in play, I don't think was a good idea. I'll probably just have to scoop that up, because we don't have Cape of Toughness right now. They can easily knock out our Blissey V if they can charge up their Palkia VSTAR for just 2 energies. And then with a full bench, I think they can reach upwards of 280 or something like that. Especially if they have Choice Belt available, they can easily knock out our Blissey V. But with Cape of Toughness, I don't think they're one-hit knocking out Blissey V either. So I think we're safe. I think this is a good matchup for us. They are using Irida though. If they only had Melanie, I think they would be able to. They can easily build up their bench and then energize their Palkia V. So I think a good mixture of Irida and also Melanie is good for the Palkia. But for now, I'm just gonna knock out this Palkia VSTAR, getting us our first 2 prizes. But our momentum right now is really bad because we're not getting any energies and we're not getting any supporter cards to help us to draw into more cards as of right now. And with 4 Pokemon on our bench, it's not helping. If they have Melanie, they can energize Palkia V. They can evolve into Inteleon or their Drizzile. But they're just going to attack and they don't get anything from that. Alright. So we're just going to put this double turbo energy, scoop up Chansey to lower their attack. And we're just going to attack for 180 damage. And again, we're not accelerating any energies from the discard pile because we don't have any energies. So at least we can control our opponent's attack damage output by maintaining the low Pokemon count on our bench, at least. So if they have a hard time putting Pokemon on their bench too, that's going to be good. And they're just going to... Dude, what is that? Rule of the region? A stadium. Well, that's too bad for them. We're going to knock out their Palkia V for another 2 prizes. And that gets us Avery. Alright, cool. So, yeah, Path to the Peak is insane, guys. I can't believe it's turning off their ability. I think Greninja is a huge part of the draw engine for the Palkia. And without anything to draw them extra cards, I think it's slowing them down tremendously. So we just need 2 more prizes. And with Avery, that also helps us control their bench size. And that also lowers their attack damage output for Palkia VSTAR. So I think we have all the necessary tools to actually control this match. So if my opponent has nothing, this is an easy win for us. They're gonna use Roxanne, so that's gonna reshuffle our hand. We draw 2 cards, but we got Marnie, so it's useless, guys. That Roxanne is useless. That draws them into 6 cards though, so they could evolve into Drizzile. That could get them more trainer cards, but nothing to help them energize their Palkia VSTAR though, I don't think. Tool Jammer, okay. And we get another Marnie. This is crazy. I feel like if I use it, my opponent's just gonna forfeit. So I just attached the double turbo energy on Miltank just in case, because I don't want to run out of energies. So I'm just gonna attack for 180 damage against their Palkia VSTAR and then go from there. So even if they retreat, if we have a boss's order, we can just easily win this one. And again, we have Avery. We can control their bench size. And yeah, that this is pretty much game. I don't think there's anything. With only 3 Pokemon on our bench, I think they're not gonna get a knockout because they already put Tool Jammer. They're not gonna have Choice Belt to increase attack. So we should be safe, even without a Cape of Toughness on our Blissey V. So they're gonna use Irida. Yeah, I don't know if my opponent has any win condition at this point. The Pass to the Peak really slowed them down. They can't use their VSTAR power ability to put 3 energy on their Pokemon either. And all of our Pokemon have so much HP on them, even Miltank. It's insane. It's so hard to knock out this build. Even harder for them to knock out any of our Blissey at this point. We have Blissey just standing by on our bench, ready to fully heal our Blissey V in case they attack. We just need to switch it out. And we also have Hyper Potion just in case. We need that extra boost. But I think my opponent's just finding as much ways as they can to increase their attack damage output. They get a Manaphy, so they can have a full bench. If they can knock out my Blissey V, 200 damage. That's it. That's it. That's game. So we're just gonna knock out this guy for the win. Wow. Easy matchup thanks to Path to the Peak. Good game. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to smash the like button for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicle Night channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.